Hello and welcome to the Salon Owners Social Media Marketing Group right here in Facebook. We're also over on the Jennifer Louise Facebook page and streaming live into YouTube. So wherever you are in the world and wherever you are consuming this, welcome, hello. I hope your day has started super well because I am just about to turn it epic with an epic lady who is an amazing friend of mine, Rebecca Douglas, showing you guys how to really start crushing your Instagram grid with your pictures. It's time to level up the game of taking pictures of your work, guys. So welcome, good morning. Hey,
Hi, Jen. It's lovely to be here. Morning, everybody.
For those of you that don't know Rebecca and I have been friends for many, we're best friends like for many years.
Yeah.
We met on a photo
shoot. Yeah.
And she's been a massive part of my business, a massive part of my brand, and all those lovely photos that you see of me over on Instagram, they're all taken by Rebecca. She does lots of brand shoots for businesses, but today it's just so lovely to not only be working with her, but to see your face, Beck.
I know. The 2020 version, isn't it?
Green life. It drives me insane, but we've been so busy, the pair of us, that we haven't actually even had time to catch up. So this is a bit of a catch.
I know, like, how are you? What have you been doing? And I'm like,
So Bex, you've got some tips to share with us, but first of all, I'd like you to just introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are and what you do and what you bring to the world.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. So yeah, I'm a brand photographer. And so I think it's quite a new concept that's risen over the last couple of years, that people are wanting something a little bit more authentic and connected to who they are, what their business is about, weaving in their values, and also keeping at the heart of that their ideal client. So brand photography is more than just having a few commercial photos, but it's about that connection and that relationship and building that with a business. So the images that they have are truly authentic and reflect who they are and what they do. And so for me, I see it kind of as a visual storytelling role to help businesses increase their visibility in a really meaningful way. But obviously I can't be there 24/7. And I know that so much happens in a business like in salons. You've got clients coming in and out and you are doing brilliant work, and you need to be able to capture that and keep that story going. And so I really saw that there was a space not only to support people with those kind of like high ticket website visibility images, but then how to up level the images you're creating, so there's not a huge visual disconnect between the images I've shot and then the ones you're putting up next to it. So this is where I'm even more invested in the clients that I work with and helping them increase their visibility in everything that they do. So one of the things I'm working away on at the moment is building this workshop, Better Phone Photography, which is launching in spring. And this will walk you through not only working with natural light, but how to bring in artificial light, how to work with people, how to pose, how to style if you're doing flat lays. So it's quite a broad, all-encompassing course to really help people know the things that I know when I'm shooting. So those images then are just as epic and up level where you're at the moment. So and that's kind of where I'm at and where things are going to be going into the new year, to really help businesses invest in that. And I think this year in particular has shown us that visibility online is everything. And it's that shop window that gets people into the salons when we're open, but also keeps that brand visibility going when we're being told to down tools for a bit, and just keep that connection there and that customer loyalty through all of that visibility.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you touched on there about being able to kind of bring our photography up to a level alongside yours, you're right. You know, I've had quite a few shoots with you, Bex, and we've had, you know, most Christmases we do a Christmas shoot. Yeah. You know, for the team, so that we put that out on Christmas cards and on all of our social medias. And there is a disconnect, or there was a disconnect from kind of where you leave me and go and thing, and then it's like, okay, now I've got to keep this grid going, and my team have to take photos. Yeah. And how do we do that in a way that looks professional? Because at the end of the day, pictures sell. You know, these photos that we're we're putting out on our Instagram accounts are our business. And if they're not looking like everyone else's amazing photos, it lets the business down, and you're then selling the story of a second class business, even though you're not. You just can't take photos because we're hairdressers.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So I love that you've, like, the word of the year, absolute pivot. I love that you pivoted and you've brought a course out so that we can start to really level up and send our team on that, because it's not me taking photos all the time. You know, my team are in charge of taking those pictures and putting them into that group so that I can post them on social media. And if they don't know, you know, I've had lots of photos subjected to me that have gone in the bin because I can't post them because they're not good enough. And I think investing in that in the team, learning how to take the photos is an absolute must. So you've got some tips that you're going to share with us today.
Indeed.
So let's crack on.
Dive in. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the main things I'm going to look at today is really simple things that can make instantly a massive difference to the quality of photos that you're taking. So we're not going to get into, shall I use artificial light? And by artificial light, I mean the light rings or different lighting that you can put in. We're going to just look bare basics at just improving a few skills that will then help you springboard and move forward. So the first one, and it's a pet hate of mine, and I actually did it to my laptop this morning, is clean your lens on your camera. So when you take photos, if a lens is greasy, which it's going to be because these things get thrown into our bags, our pockets, they're left out while you're styling and might get products kind of misting in their general direction. You've got to clean the lens off, and instantly your photos will be a lot sharper and a lot clearer. So I even did it this morning before we spoke on my laptop lens, because that closes down onto the keyboard lid and picks up just all of that kind of lifestyle stuff, and then a little bit sharper. There it is. So I do this, and I don't use fancy cloths. So probably, you know, people will be like, why are you using your cuff? But just anything that you've got that is soft, that hasn't got any dirt on it, just give it a little buff. Just buff it up, including, and know where the selfie lens is on the front of your camera as well, if you're looking at taking selfies. And this can work for photos you're taking if you're doing lives in your business. And you'll notice then that fuzzy haze that you see, which maybe sometimes people want that softening filter, but it makes such a difference to how your camera focuses and works for you. There you go.
Oh my God.
By the way, we've not prepped this. You don't know what I'm going to do as the tip. So I love this eureka moment that you're having right now.
That is just like, you can't, let me show you this photo. Go and have a look at my Instagram, and then have a look at that. Like, it's not a very nice photo, but look how sharp it is.
Yeah.
And then my Instagram that I've just shot 2 minutes ago is not like that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I literally do that for every single picture I take. Every time I take not every single picture, but each time I've picked my phone up, if I've not shot anything in the recent minutes, then I'll do that, because I know that it's just the way they are. They'll just pick that sort of stuff up. Wow. And I think the other thing that it does, if you've ever noticed, if you're in a salon and you've got spotlights when you're indoors, and you've noticed then that light almost has like lines coming out of it, and it's sort of like, why is that doing that? It's because of the dirt on your lens, and it's actually skewing all of the light sources. So if you do that, those lines will go, and that distraction in the photos goes.
Wow.
It's by simply buffing your lens.
I love this.
So fun. The next one I would look at, sort of looking to try and see more, is finding good light. And I'm just going to talk about natural light today, but it's the same with artificial. So I can see in your mirror behind you, obviously you've got artificial light, and it's very consistent. There's no shadows on your faces. The lighting is all consistent. Now, I'm talking from a window, and you can see already there is a slight difference between the light in the side of my face. So this side is window side, this side is room side. And if I turn more, you can see the side that's in the room is now in a lot more shadow. So if you're shooting in salon and you haven't got lighting, but you have got a window, the window is going to be your friend for where you want to position a client to shoot the pictures. So then you may want to think about what's behind that scene where the window is. And you may want to buy a pull-up screen if you don't want to invest in lighting, just so you can have a nice, simple, consistent backdrop. Or if you've got a lovely backdrop there and you're really proud of the salon and the space by the window, then it has that lifestyle element of showing the salon in the back of the picture. So I would always turn the main part of the focus of the picture towards the light source, and then you can just stand slightly off center, so you're not stood in front and shadowing the light coming in from the window, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you want the front shot of someone with their cut, get them to face the window directly. I'm just checking I'm and then with the phone, then making sure that that is nice and directly in front of them. And then as they start to turn, make sure that the side you are going to shoot has the lovely natural light on, because what it will do is just highlight everything in the detail of that haircut. So if you're looking to show the colours through, or the sharpness of the cut and the layers and that texture and all the split ends that I have that have been cut away and gone, then you can show them those before and afters, and light will pick up all of that detail. So shooting in good light from even just directional window light makes such a difference for how well those will come out. And if you've got spotlights and things in the salon, always try and move people away from those things, because that light comes from above, it hits our eyebrows, and our eyebrows will always naturally cast a shadow. So you get those sort of raccoon eyes, and if none of us want to have shadowing under our eyes anyway. So just always try and think about where the light's coming from, and don't be afraid to move someone round into good light, then keep them in their chair and then just shoot cruddy photos that aren't actually going to help you sell what you do.
Yeah. And one of the things I will just pick up on there is, if you are shooting lifestyle photos in the salon, please look at what's in the background. You know, trailing leads, messy trolleys, it's not a cool look. So just clear them out the way and make sure that it's like a chair and a mirror and it's nicely positioned, rather than just stuff everywhere. The amount of times I have to say to salon owners, it's a great picture of hair, but it's a crappy photo, it needs to come
salon. And I think also there, because we're going into Christmas, I think the longevity of images, think about the seasonality. If you've got products or things in the background that show it's Christmas, then you're only really going to be able to use those. If you pull those images out in April, it's going to be quite clear that you shot that months ago. So if you've got that area in your salon, try and keep it brand relevant, so the things are there that style that, but then it doesn't give it seasonality if you don't want it to, so that those images have longevity and you can always go back to them in a year's time if it's still something that's relevant for you to talk about. So that was an extra tip there.
7 tips out of Bex.
Absolutely. I just can't stop. So the third one I want to tell you about is gaining control of the camera settings. So that when I've just got a new phone, because I dropped mine and cracked the screen.
I've done that as well.
I know. And I'd actually did it on the first day of lockdown 1.0 and managed to keep going. But where I'm launching this course and recording my screen and stuff, I was like, I can't, much like having leads in the background, I can't really be running and shooting a phone course with a broken phone. So, but the first thing I did when I got it was go into camera settings, and I looked at the flash. And one of the things that I like to do is actually turn the flash off, because if you have the flash on when you're taking photos on auto flash, you've got no control about when it's going to go off. And it is really, really quite a bright direct light, and it's not a very good light source. So
where's the camera settings?
Every phone is different. So I'm just looking on my one. I definitely turned it off. You should find in the top corner. Oop, can you see? Oh goodness, it's all back to front. Can you see the little flash icon there? If you tap that, usually that's at the top of the frame.
I really know. Settings.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. No, sorry, because usually most of these things are in camera. So you just open the camera app, and then you'll see that there, and it'll give you options, or you can have it on constantly. But again, as you can see, this is quite a harsh light. Yeah. And so I much prefer to shoot with natural light, because I can control. And then when it flashes, a lot of the time people are kind of grimace at the flash happening. So by turning that off, it's a much more natural and consistent light all the way through. And then it's not going off by surprise and just blasting products and people and just not giving you light that you can't really control for. Another one on gaining control over the light and the settings in the camera is your camera is always in auto mode. So what it's doing when it's shooting is it's looking across the whole of the frame and it's trying to decide, where am I reading the light from? Now in here at the moment, the lighting is quite consistent because my face is quite light, the background's quite light, but then my hair's quite dark and my top's quite dark. So the camera needs to make a decision. Am I reading the light parts of the frame or the dark parts of the frame in the hair and the clothing? So if you take a picture and suddenly like the skin is really blown out, almost to the point where, can you see at the moment, my face is, there's bits where I'm losing all the detail in my face and it's blowing out. So that is where the camera is actually picking up more of the dark parts, that this camera on the video here, of the frame, and exposing those. So it's making everything brighter automatically. Whereas if I move back, everything's much more consistent because I'm now away from the direct window light. Do you see what I mean? So the camera in your phone does exactly the same thing. Now, if you, this is quite tricky to do, back to front.
And it's the wrong way round on this.
I know. So let's all try this. So if you hold your camera up into the room that you've got and tap on the object that you want to shoot, so say it's your computer screen, tap on it. Can you see a little sunshine comes up?
Yes.
There's a little sunshine icon. Now, if you tap and hold that and move it up and down, you can make it lighter or darker.
Oh my God.
So you are now controlling how the camera exposes the photo. And then if you tap the picture and take the picture, it will take it either darker or brighter.
Oh, I look so amazing in that.
So clean lens and then just making it bright, lighter or darker, depending on, you know.
Listen, next week, you lot aren't going to recognise me on Instagram. Who's this girl?
That's it. So it just makes such a difference. And so I think particularly with hair, with hair, you definitely want to look at the difference between, if someone's got dark hair and light skin, if your hair is the focus of the picture, then obviously that's what you're going to want to be touching the screen to focus on that and deciding how light or bright that looks, depending on how much detail and texture that you want to show through the style that you've just done. So I think that can really help in terms of making those pictures a lot sort of sharper and more vivid, and then getting that exposure and that light really nice in the picture.
You are a genius.
Okay, are we ready for number 4?
Yes.
Okay, so holding your phone. Now, we've got similar phone cases, right? You've got one that is just sort of fixed like that. So that's absolutely fine to shoot your, oh, you haven't even got one. Okay, so that's...
I've cracked it.
Yeah. See, I did even with one, but, you know, it's one of the things. So if you've got one of those cases that has a fold over lid, take that off when you're taking pictures or doing videos, because you can never hold your phone properly with that on. And then you're kind of like trying to move your hands around this extra flap. And so no one needs that in their lives, let's be honest. And so, I think take those off. These ones are fine to keep on because it doesn't affect how you hold. But also, if your phone, if without a case on, is quite slippery, then that can be quite hard to hold and then get that thing steady when you're holding it. So having a case on that's got a bit of resistance that you can then hold the phone more easily will help you be more steady in your hand and the pictures that you're taking. So I always recommend, if you can try, to hold your phone with both hands when you're taking pictures. Now, I know selfies are a bit different because that's here, but if you're taking a picture of a person, hold it up, hold the camera to the height their head is at, and use both hands. The other thing to do, if there's going to be a little turn it in, is have your elbows in against your body. So your body then gives you all this stability when you're holding your camera.
Right.
And if you look at that from the front, that is a much more stable way of holding a phone and taking a picture than doing it like this and trying to get things straight.
Yeah.
So it just then holding it like that, elbows in, both hands, just makes such a difference to being able to kind of keep that stable. And then the other thing that I do with sort of holding the phone and getting things straight is I turn the grid lines on. I don't know if you've ever seen those before.
Yeah.
But that
weird. I always had them on before.
Yeah.
That is in settings.
Yeah. So go into settings, turn grid lines on. And the reason I like that is because then quite often mine at the moment, I've got like a spirit level. So it will tell me whether I'm straight or not on a horizon. So that can help if you've got really straight lines in the back of the salon. I think one of the most dated photos you can take is if it has Dutch tilt. So like you kind of shoot at a jaunty angle. It's like such a 90s way of shooting. So if there's straight lines in the pictures, make sure they're straight when you're taking them. But that's kind of more of a minor detail because obviously the haircut and the person is much more the focal point.
Mine says it's on, but they're not showing up.
It might depend on which camera mode you're using. Is it just in camera? Like if you're using portrait more, maybe it isn't putting them in that.
Photo. Oh, they are on. I just can't see them.
There we go. Classic.
Oh, look at that.
Get your glasses on. Oh dear.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, so they're really helpful. And also there's lots that I go into about composition and rules of thirds. So that those grid lines break the pictures up into thirds that way and that way.
Yeah.
And then we kind of look at how to shoot on a third and how that can be really useful for editorial if you need to put text to one side and have kind of, you know, have me in the third and then you've got 2/3 here for advertising space if you're using them for that sort of thing, or other way around to put Instagram captions and stuff above what you're shooting.
Yeah.
So it's quite good to think not just shooting tight in on somebody when you're shooting their hair, but shoot some that are slightly further back and then move in for the detail as well. So you kind of get that story of the whole head and then slightly closer details and that sort of thing when you're shooting.
And then you get more posts out of that one head of hair.
Yeah. And it's just trying to think about different ways of shooting, and cameras are so good now close up that you can move in quite tight. So you could get in really close to someone's hair to talk about the color and the texture and the kind of the different techniques that you've used that sets you apart. And it just gives you so much more longevity from one person and one photograph or one sort of set of photos that you're taking.
Yeah.
So a couple of things there on just how to take more stable pictures, particularly with holding your phone. If you're finding that you're shooting, like now the sunlight's gone and this room is a little bit darker, so the camera automatically controls the shutter speed on phones. And so sometimes, you know how you take a picture maybe in a pub or a night out, remember those times? You take them and they're blurry and you're like, for God's sake, they're blurry. The reason is you've moved the phone, or the person's moved before the shutter's had time to open and close. Because it's dark, it needs to stay open longer to let light in and then close. So if you are shooting in slightly darker settings, get your person to stay still and just hold that phone there and wait for the noise and see the picture process before you move. And then that'll get you sharper pictures as well. So
love that.
Yeah. And also great ones on nights out. So if everyone can stay still.
Like photos in the first hour of a night out. After that, cameras away.
That's it. Okay, so my absolute final tip, and talking about longevity and how these images can be purposed in your business, is shoot using the camera app on your phone. Don't use the in social app cameras. So the reason being, they are already automatically compressed if you shoot pictures on Instagram or in Facebook, whereas your phone will shoot them in pretty high resolution that they're probably all right print quality for a quarter of a page of A4, or maybe a little bit bigger. But if you use the apps that are the web-based ones, they already automatically compress them because they're going onto the web. And you'll probably see that if you've uploaded a picture to Instagram, sometimes it resaves the one you've put a filter on, doesn't it? And then you open it and you start zooming in and it's lost quality straight away. So the reason I say shooting camera is that what I teach in the workshop is a workflow from taking the picture, editing it in camera, you still then have a high resolution one that you've put filters on, and I teach you how to find consistent filters that match your branding. And then you take that picture and upload that, but then you've always got that to go back to. So say, I don't know, a hair magazine saw the style and wanted to feature it. If you've done all of that editing through Instagram and use their filter, the picture simply isn't good enough to send off to someone to use in print. Whereas what you can now do in the quality that you get from phones will see you through doing some things in print from mobile phone photos. But that starts with always shooting in the camera, editing on the phone in apps that we look at, and then using that picture there. And then it's consistent as well, because if you want to come back to it, you start to build up this bank of images that are all edited. They're in high resolution. And then you can start to use them in Canva for different things, or popping them on a story. So it just gives you that longevity to using that image.
I love that. You're so clever, Beck. Honestly, whenever you shoot and I see photos of yours, every day when I walk into my house, I've got a picture that you shot over, I think it was Margate. It's got like that really kind of beautiful pinky tone on it, and like a sandy pinky vibe on it. And I love it. And every day I walk in, and that is, as I walk straight through the door, it's there. And it just fills me with love every time I see it. And I just talk about your passion and what you do, I'm just like, oh, you're so clever. So good. So talk to me about this course. When is it out? How much is it? How do people book on?
So it's all in development at the moment. So my background prior to being a photographer, I used to lecture in photography. So it's kind of like it's gone full circle. And so it's still in development stage at the moment, because I used to run it in person. And my plan and dream for this year was to take it on tour and actually come to businesses that wanted to train their teams and it be a hands-on day. And I still plan for that to be an after time. But it will be online. So there's a VIP wait list where anyone that's joining that will get a discount code for sign up when I release. It's releasing, I'm aiming to release in January. So once we kind of got through Christmas, it then sets us up with learning something new and growing into 2021. Knowing that you are really developing that visibility into next year. And so it will be an online platform. And I'm just sort of gauging and doing some testing with people at the moment as to whether people want it to be more this style, and we'll do regular lives and I teach it live as we go, or pre-recorded. So people that have already signed up to the wait list, I'm sending out a survey just to get that feedback, because I'm building this for people and what they want. And so I think a lot of that is then going to be reflected in what and how I develop it. So the material's done because it's a course I run in person, but it's how I take that online, which is where I'm at with things at the moment. So anyone that signs up after this talk this week can help inform what they think will work best for them, because I'm going to try and tailor it around everyone's learning needs and the areas they want to develop and grow with. So that's kind of the stage that it's at the moment. So more info will literally be coming once I've had that chat with people that are interested in doing it.
And I love the fact that it's growing into 2021 with more visibility.
Yeah.
That statement is so powerful, more than ever before, because, you know, it's never been easier to attract new clients, but it's never been so noisy. And we have to stand up and stand out for what we do and put our passion out there in a massive way, not just pictures anymore. Like, they need to be amazing pictures. And I love what you're building there. So do you know prices? Have you got all of that fleshed out yet, or no?
It depends on the model that I'm going to run it on, and whether it is going to be something that is I've pre-recorded and done, or whether we're going to do live. So I'm looking at the price point of being around the kind of £100 mark, because I want it to be accessible for people. But the exact pricing will just be confirmed, but I can't see it being kind of way above that. So that's kind of where I'm looking at, and feedback that I've had so far on where people are looking to invest. So
and I think that, you know, £100 to invest in building your visibility in your business is not a lot of money, is it? And it's a must. It's not it's not a when, it's like I'll do that the year after, or I'll do that when I can. It's a must. If you want to survive the tsunami that's coming next year, you must.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, it's going to be something that's developing. So there will be options for people to book in one-to-ones if they want to do the online learning, but then answer their specific questions. I can coach them one-to-one to look through things, because some people might be like, well, I knew all you've gone through today. There wasn't any epiphanies in there for me, but I really need help with this. So people can kind of just bypass that process a little bit. And then also in those glory days where we're back in together, is that like it can be something that's in person as well, and it's a massive like team motivational training, because then everyone feels confident about the photos they're taking and their team on the ground doing the work, and know that everybody's got that base training to capture images that are going to work well for the business. So
yeah. And I think what's really powerful about you is the fact that you take brand photography. So you understand, you're not just teaching someone how to use a camera. You know, you understand the processes behind taking pictures for the brand, and how to just silly little things like you were saying, you know, maybe going a bit further back so that you've got space above the head or down the side for text, and thinking far enough ahead of this isn't just apps and Instagram, Facebook. This is your website. This is what visuals do you need for your marketing for the rest of this year. Let's get that fleshed out in this course. So I think, you know, what you're bringing to the world of business is just phenomenal. So thank you for spending time with me this morning. I've loved seeing your face.
It's been great. And if anyone's got any questions and there's any kind of follow-ups that you want to just ping by me, then obviously people are welcome to do that if that works for you guys as well. So
absolutely. I've put the link to Rebecca's waitlist in the comments on this this video. It's gone out to both Facebooks and over onto YouTube as well. So wherever you're consuming this, you can pick it up. If you're listening to this later on in the podcast, then please do jump over into the Salon Owners social media marketing group on Facebook, and you'll find the links and everything you need in there. And go follow Bex on Instagram. Rebecca, what's your Instagram handle?
It is Rebecca Douglas Photography. So
go follow her, because I'm always watching what she's doing. I'm always looking at the visuals that she's putting out and gauging and understanding how to I'm learning from her all the time. You know, even if it's just that she's putting content out, I'm looking at that content thinking, okay, that's a great image, save that. You know, that's something that I'll do in my next photo shoot with her. So, you know, always be learning from people that are doing the thing that we want. And that's what this group is about, finding the people that are crushing it in a skill that we all need to learn, and getting them to share their passion and their message with us so that we can live up and learn as well. So Bex, thank you so much. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we might be able to get a glass of champers together soon.
Right, I know, can't wait for those days.
Guys and girls, take lots of care. If you've got nothing to do today, I suggest you start learning how to take some photos from the tips that we've already learned today from Bex. You know, whether that's taking 100 selfies or taking 20 pictures of the fruit bowls around your house and figuring out how to get the best out of your camera and cleaning those lenses. That was the biggest thing for me. I was
like, isn't it? I know.
How simple that is. Crazy. Thank you so much for your time. I am going to go and take lots of selfies, and you're not going to recognise me coming out from today. New woman with my new photography skills. Thank you so much, girls and boys. I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. where I've got the most amazing Mr. Andrew Barton, king of hairdressing legends, coming in to say hi to everyone tomorrow. So don't miss that for sure. Take lots of care, lots of love, and I will see you all tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Bye.